Tufi was a well-known cheater on Apex Legends that terrorized countless lobbies and streamers. He once had the power to take over lobbies and force some of the best professional players in the game to fistfight against each other while they were live streaming.
Tufi said no!
No, 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 no!
I was inviting.
No, 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 no! No, no, no! Tufi won. It was madness in them.
He seen himself as an ethical hacker, someone that was using his cheats to help EA and Respawn stop cheaters.
I am the only one showing off these cheats. And if I don't do that, who gonna do that? Because everyone hide it, you know?
Yes, so you are actually helping them.
Actually, they can see it as I am helping them. But I'm also having fun.
And he somehow managed to get people to believe that he was an actual skilled hacker, someone with the power to not only hack on Apex Legends, but outside of it too. During the SafeTitanfall.com hack that happened on July 4th, 2021, people were quick to assume that Tufi was the person behind the hack, so that could give you a better understanding as to how he was seen within the Apex Legends community at the time. But one thing that most people did not know is that Tufi is not a hacker at all. According to Google, the definition of a hacker is a person skilled in information technology who uses their technical knowledge to achieve a goal or overcome an obstacle within a computerized system by non-standard means. But in video games, the term hacker has been degraded. People with access to cheats are often labeled as a hacker even though they have zero programming or IT skills. And as expected, Tufi was one of them. But if Tufi isn't a hacker, how did he become one of Apex's most notorious and recognized cheaters? And that's where Methamphetamine Solutions, or Meth.Sol, comes in. A cheat seller / provider that focuses on many games such as Garry's Mod, Rust, and Apex Legends. On paper, they seem just like every other cheat provider, but little did their customers know they were doing malicious things in the background that will soon cause the downfall of their company. This is the rise and fall of Methamphetamine Solutions.
Fucking shit.
If there is one thing that all video games have in common, it is that there's a large amount of cheaters. It doesn't matter if you're playing an FPS game or a regular sports game like NBA 2K, you will find these cheaters everywhere you go. These so-called hackers are regular everyday people like you and I. But in order for these regular everyday people to become cheaters, you need to find someone with the skill to create these cheats. Nowadays, it isn't hard to find these companies that will sell you cheats. All it takes is one Google search and enough money to buy the cheat, then boom, less than 10 minutes and you are now considered a cheater. And the fact that it is that easy to get cheats is the reason why it's very profitable to sell. In an operation Chinese police called Operation Chicken Drumstick, they released information showing that cheat distributor that focused on Overwatch and COD Mobile earned roughly $76 million in revenue, more than enough to purchase luxury cars and to put $5 million into cryptocurrency. And the way they gain crazy amounts of money is kind of like the drug dealing industry. If you are confident that you have the best cheats or product in the game, instead of selling a lifetime license of the cheat, use a subscription business model. Kind of like how a drug dealer would give one of their customers a free sample because they know once they get hooked, they will keep coming back. Cheat providers will sell a one-day license at a very cheap price. Chicken Drumstick were selling their cheats for about $10 a day and up to $200 a month, according to information that was put out by the BBC. And the reason why they sold their one-day license at $10 is because they proved to their customers that their cheats was worth the price. Cheat providers that did not make a name for themselves sell their one-day licenses at a very cheap price. Once you get into the habit of cheating, you wouldn't want to go back and become a regular everyday gamer that struggles to get a high rank. And that's the type of people who cheat providers profit off the most. The crackheads of gaming. But don't get me wrong, this does not mean that all cheat providers are the same. Not every cheat provider wants to run a legitimate cheat provider business. A good amount of the cheat providers do malicious things in the background, from using your computer to mine crypto with or without your consent, usually without your consent, all the way to blackmailing their customers so that they could gain even more money from them. And in some cases, instead of downloading cheats, they will make you download a virus. And in this case, Meth.Sol is the perfect example of why you should never trust these cheat providers, no matter how legit they look. To really know Meth.Sol, we need to know these three people: Wolfie, Dogecore, and Woob, three of the main developers for Meth.Sol. And according to one of the former admins for Methamphetamine Solutions, there were around 6 developers across all games.
The owner of Meth is Wolfie.
There's been about 6 developers managing different cheat projects. The main developers are Wolfie, Dogecore, and Woo.
Wolfie focuses on Gary's mod, Dogecore focuses on Apex Legends, and Woob focuses on Rust, and together they are Methamphetamine Solutions. Wolfie, being a 14-year-old Russian, was known as the owner of this entire operation. But what makes Meth.Sol different from other cheat providers? And the answer to that question is quite simple: nothing. Absolutely nothing made Meth.Sol different. Just like any other cheat provider, you find as many customers as you can, then you sell them your cheats through your website or directly from you, and once they start getting addicted to your cheats, they start paying you daily or monthly, and all you have to do is sit back, have moderators do your customer service for you, and you would occasionally do maintenance on your cheats, and that's pretty much it. But if there was one thing that made Meth.Sol stand out, is the clients that they managed to sell their cheats to. Tufi and Autism Gaming 420, two names that are well known for causing some sort of damage to Apex Legends. Tufi being a cheater that was known for targeting content creators and professional players, and Autism Gaming is known for leaking the Season 11 Battle Pass and gameplay footage. When asked about their involvement in the hacking side of Apex Legends, here's what Mint, a former staff member for Methamphetamine Solutions, had to say.
As far as I know, both Tufi and Autism Gaming are just cheat users. I don't think either of them have any involvement with developing their own cheats or exploits.
While the public believed that Tufi was this crazy hacker that everyone needed to fear, the cheater side of Apex seen him as just another cheat user that targets big streamers. But this misunderstanding is something that the community started. When Tufi was asked about how he started cheating, he claimed that it's easy to start cheating. All you need to do is search it up, not develop your cheats, simply search it up on Google.
When did you start cheating? Does it require any skill?
I started cheating in Apex Legends in Season 2, and yes, it is very easy to cheat on Apex Legends. You just need to search on internet a software for it.
But sure, Meth.Sol had their fair share of customers that actively used their cheats on multiple games, and up to this point, Meth.Sol seemed like your regular everyday cheat provider. But in the background, it was not all sunshines and rainbows. Mint, who was a former staff member for Methamphetamine Solutions, noticed that the higher-ups in Meth.Sol were doing malicious things to their customers. Since he was a staff member, he was authorized access to a majority of the hardware ID and injection logs, and his job was to prevent people who are banned from using the Meth.Sol cheat from playing on new accounts.
Back when I was a part of Meth, I was in the moderation and admin team. I had access to a majority of the hardware ID and injection logs, and I was mainly there to prevent paying users from playing on new accounts. Later on, I figured out the reason why Wolfie didn't automatically ban people was because it was very profitable for him to let people buy new accounts.
And this was suspicious because usually these cheat providers would use a system which would allow them to automatically ban blacklisted people from using new accounts. Mint later realized that the reason why they did not automatically ban people is because it's more profitable to let them purchase the cheat again, then once they use it, they will get banned. Keep in mind, these people did not know they were on a blacklist, so they were technically buying a license to a cheat that they were blacklisted from using, and the people over at Meth.Sol 100% knew what they were doing. But wait, the situation gets even worse. During Mint's time as a staff member, he noticed malicious discussions and actions within the staff team. Mint noticed that within the cheats they were selling, they included a GitHub and Discord token logger. And for the people that don't know what a token is, it's a phrase of letters and numbers that acts as an authorization code. Basically, it's an encrypted version of your username and password, and if your token gets into the wrong hands, they could do malicious things with it. And that's exactly what happened. They used the Discord and GitHub token logger against an anti-cheat developer named Glorified Pig, and their mission was to get his source code in order to reverse engineer it and later on leak it to the public.
I was also a staff member. I started to notice some malicious actions and discussion within the staff team. They had incorporated a Discord and GitHub token logger within a payload. The cheat loader would download this and run this through PowerShell to avoid any antivirus detections. They used this somewhat openly against an anti-cheat developer to patch the detections they were worried about.
Mint believed that this was the end of their malicious actions, so he was not bothered. But then he eventually discovered that they were still logging tokens, and this was the moment that led to the death of Methamphetamine Solutions. Mint, the staff member for Meth.Sol, exposed Methamphetamine Solutions for what they really were. He uploaded 2 videos, one of them called Exposing Methamphetamine Solutions, and the other one called Methamphetamine Solutions is a Rat, or Remote Access Trojan. In the first video, Mint exposes Meth.Sol for having an entire entire list of blacklisted people, and he also exposed them for logging Discord and GitHub tokens. Mint also claimed that they wanted to log Chrome passwords but couldn't manage to do it. He claimed that Meth.Sol is a remote access Trojan. When downloading their cheat, which they were marketing as safe to use, the customer's computer is vulnerable to whatever the higher ups at Meth.Sol want to do with it. Mint also exposes them for copying and pasting GitHub source code and selling it as their own, and he also provides more information to back up his claims in the second video. During this incident, the higher ups at Meth.Sol tried to damage control the situation by claiming that they do not use anything that Mint was exposing them for using anymore.
After it became public knowledge, they attempted to damage control the situation by claiming it wasn't actually in use anymore, and that the payload running was actually the result of a bug.
This incident led to a large number of the active customers that Meth.Sol had to leave and to stop purchasing cheats from them. Methamphetamine Solutions still has users today, but according to Mint, a large amount of their customers left after hearing about the malicious activity they got exposed for. And the customers that chose to stay lost interest or were driven away by their payment methods that they accepted.
Meth still has its users, however, their community and active users has drastically died down to the point where there's only about 3 active users in the main Discord. This is because people are just losing interest, or potential customers are being driven away by their tedious payment methods or malicious activity.
So a cheat provider that was marketing their cheats as safe to use was exploiting their customers in order to gain extra money by accepting payments even though they had the customer in a blacklist. And not only that, the cheat software that they were selling gave the higher ups at Methamphetamine Solutions the ability to do malicious things to the customer's computer. And this entire situation is one big reminder to never purchase cheats, because if you do manage to purchase cheats from the wrong person, there is a chance that they might do malicious things in the background. And to make this short, don't become the crackhead of the gaming community. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be making more of these type of videos in the near future. Thanks for watching, like and sub. I'm out. Peace.